Hello, everybody. This is Melanie, aka the Soulful Stitcher, and I would like to invite you to my Flosstube channel. Um, I forget what number this is. I think it's like Flosstube number 22, 23. I'm not sure. Um, but for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for coming back and rolling with me, even though I don't make videos, um, quite often. It's every couple months or every 3 or 4 months for me. So, what have I been up to? Well, for a little bit of time, my stitching kind of took a back seat. I wasn't really stitching as much because I work Monday through Friday, and then when I get off of work, I was just not really in the mood to do a lot of stitching. So, but then it picked back up, so I do have quite a bit to show you guys today. And I know a lot of people generally do their life update at the end, but I do mine in the beginning only because there's not a lot to tell. Everybody's doing great. We're all just working hard and, just being productive citizens despite the things that are going on around us. We're just making the best of each day. My son is doing fantastic. I get a chance to talk to him every Saturday, and just every time I talk to him, he always has just great, amazing news. So he's doing well. He is struggling a little bit in one area. As you guys know, that my son is an accountant, or soon to be an accountant. He has to take his CPA exam, and there are 4 parts to it, and he has passed 3, but there's one part that he's struggling to pass. But he got some new learning material, and so hopefully this go round he'll get a passing score. But I have no doubt, that he's going to do great things. The tutoring is just really expensive. They want like $2,500, and that might not be a lot to some, but for some of us, we just don't have it laying around. So he just got a new material that was affordable, and he thinks that he's got it this time. Because I just told him, I said, kind of look at your previous scores and put the information together and just see if they are telling you the same thing, and you can narrow it down to a concept that you may be missing, or something of that nature. So just say prayer for him, that he does great this time around. But other than that, doing great. So let's get into the main reason why you're here, and that is for the stitching. So I do have some whips, and I do have I have FFO. Excuse me. But I can't remember if I showed it to you guys or not. But just in case I did not. One of the ones that I finished, because I know for a fact I put my finishes on Instagram, but I just don't know if I showed them to you on here. And one of my finishes is called Christmas Sentiments, and it's by Stony Creek. And here we go. And I did the beads and everything on it. So in the last two months, and I did have another finish too, but I think I showed that one on my last. Yes, I did. I showed that one on my last Flosstube, and that was Prairie Village by Prairie Schooler. So I did have a finish from the last time but see, I'm trying to think, guys. I did a Flosstube on my birthday, but I did not have a finish this year. That finish was last year. So either way, between the last time that I saw you guys, that may have been one of my finishes. I can't remember. So let's move into my whips. I have quite a few of those to show you. So I'll start with my headache. My headache is Pride and Prejudice. And this is what it looks like. And this is where I'm at. And I am just having a time with this one. Okay, so I went and pulled, this is where I'm having my trouble at with these right here. And I went and pulled everything out, not everything, but I pulled out the area that I was struggling with. And it looks like I'm going to have to frog some more to get it back on track. It may not look like it to you on camera, but to me, I can tell it's off. I had to turn the light up. The light's kind of weird, but just work with me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fix it just to try to get it on track. And this, I've been fudging and fooling with this thing for several months now. And I am so over it, you guys. Like, for real. I am so over it. But I love it, so I don't want to give up on it. And I am doing this on 28 count even weave, hand dyed by me with just some Rit dye. So that's whip number 1. Okay. Whip number 2 is the mighty and infamous One Nation by Bygone Stitches. And I am doing this on 40 count vintage country mocha. Okay. And this is where I'm at. And you gotta excuse me, guys, I did not iron anything, which you guys know that anyway. That I don't really iron anything until I'm done with it. So this is where it's at. I've gotten some of the blue done. I've gotten 1 star done. And I've gotten the first 3 states done. And the designer for Bygone Stitches placed the states in the order that they joined the union. And I was watching Vicky from the Virginia Stitcher, and what she has done is the states that her and her husband were born in, she did them in another color. And I'm thinking about doing the same thing. I just don't know what color to do them in. Because I was born in Virginia, lived in Virginia my whole entire life until 2012 when I moved to Florida. So that is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. And I will show you the pattern. And this is what it looks like. Okay, we are getting it done now. And if you hear humming in the background, kinda, it is because my grass is being mowed. Alright, next up. This is one of my favorites. Lori, the textile stitcher, showed this pattern, and when she showed it, I immediately fell in love. And it is called Cherry Hollow Farm Sampler by Stacy Nash, and it looks like this. You can get it as a download off of Etsy. And I am doing this on 40 count Newcastle latte. That's what it's called. If that's right, that's how I'm reading the pattern. I mean the fabric tag. Okay. And I haven't gotten too far on this one. This is where I'm at. Just kind of got down some of the border in the letter A. There. So that's where I'm at, guys. On that one. And some of these I'm going to kind of do a little rotation tonight and work on some of these. Okay. Next up. I am doing a sal with this one. I am doing a sal with Christine from Stitch All the Things and Jill Mallard. And this one is called Snow Village. And this is what it looks like when it's going to be stitched all together. You can print this off of the Country Cottage Needleworks website. So that's what it looks like. But when you buy it, it comes in 9 or 12 little patterns like this. And you have to space it out and stitch it all together. Or you can stitch them each separately and finish them however you want. And this one is number 2. This is called Peppermint Parlor. And that's the one that I'm on right now. I'm doing this on 16 count Misty Rain. Is that what it's called? 16 count. I believe it's Misty Rain, but don't hold me to that. But here I am. I've gotten the first one done, which was the snowball. The snowball stand. I've gotten that one done. And this is the second one, which is Peppermint Parlor. And I'm getting that one slowly but surely knocked out. I don't know, but another thing that I have been on a Ada kick. I don't know what it is about 18 count Ada, but I love it. And I've been kitting up some of my projects, new projects with it. Next up, I haven't really worked on this one as much, but I need to get to it. And this one is called I Am No Bird, and it is a Charlotte Bronte sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is what this one looks like. Now, I am stitching this on 56 count paper bark by Fox and Rabbit, and I am using their India ink Tudor silk. Not theirs, but I'm using the India ink colored Tudor silk. and a size 10 beading needle. And this is all I've gotten done. I'm just getting the frame. Slowly but surely. Getting that frame. I don't know what it is, but for me, I have to get the frame done before I can get the middle. Most of the time. But sometimes, you know, working on the frame can be a little monotonous and it can get redundant. So, you know, not all the time, but for the most part, I need to get the frame done. Now, this is an oldie but goodie. And this one is called Bowerbirds, and it's by Hello from Liz Matthew. And it looks like this. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And I'm doing this on a piece of 40 count linen. And I don't know what the color is. I got it from my local needlework shop several years ago, and I couldn't even begin to tell you what the color is. I have a local needlework shop right here in Jacksonville, Florida. And they have been closed because they're doing some repairs on the inside. And they were supposed to open up in February, but they haven't. And it would be really nice because the next shop is like an hour and a half from me. And I really don't feel like driving all that way. Now, I don't know if you're going to really be able to see this, but we'll make it work. So this is where I'm at. I've gotten part of the border done and some of the inside. Yeah, I think you can see that. And that is Bowerbirds. And I was going to use DMC Flosh on it. But Flosh is 1.5 strands of DMC. And for 40 count, it's too thick and it didn't look that good. So I'm not going to use that. Matter of fact, I'm pulling it out now. And next up is my favorite, you know it, Little House Needleworks Orchard Valley Quilting Bee. And this is what it looks like. And I'm changing all of the people in the design to African American. And this is done on 18 count Country Vintage Mocha. And I have gotten the frame all done. And now I'm starting to fill in. And this is the shoes of the second lady. So, yeah. And I'm really enjoy stitching that on the 18 count Ada. Okay. Now, we're going to get into the haul portion of my video, which includes some whips. So if you're not interested in seeing any haul, then I will just you can drop off here. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me. And come back in a couple months and see what I have going on then. Okay. So for the haul portion of the video, I want to start off with something that I think is fabulous. And it's coming from the designer Artist Designs. And it is a book, a sampler stitching book, a book that you can keep track of all your samplers. It has all the information here, and then it has the space where you can actually put a picture of the sampler. And they have those little Canon or Kodak printers out that a lot of people use, so you can get a tiny printer. But this book is fabulous. I'm going to list all my samplers. You can use it for whatever you want, but it's intended for just samplers. There's lots of books out there already for just generic whips, so that's more for samplers. But again, you buy it, you can do what you want. So the next pattern or piece of haul that I got is Brenda Gervais, called The Maker and Mender. Okay, and I got a piece of 46 count paper bark with all the called for threads and my little scissors. Okay. Next up, a piece of haul is I got these scissors, and they're called Karen. I forget her name. I'm so sorry. And they have serrated edges on them, and they are absolute a dream to cut with. And most people, because how I found them was Rika, the I don't know what her channel name is. She makes the bags. You guys know who Rika is. She lives in Germany currently right now with her husband, but they're get ready to move. I'm not sure if it's back to the States or someplace else, but I found it on her, and I believe it's the Stash House, something like that. And I absolutely love working with those. And I'm stitching, and I am stitching another piece of haul, but this is whips as well, and it's called Samplers by Scarlet House. And I had been watching this pattern and going back and forth, hemming and hawing. Did I want to get it? This and that. And I finally pulled the trigger and got it. So I'm stitching it on a piece of 40 count honey butter coming from Teresa Vignette, the kitten stitcher. And I got the border done, and now I'm starting to work on the inside. And I'm using all of the called for threads except for one. For whatever reason, dark chocolate has been really hard to get a hold of, so I got a skein of 938. Another thing that I got that is a piece of haul is I've been wanting something to put my orts in, but I didn't want to just get any old thing. I wanted something pretty nice. Not saying that other things out there aren't nice, but I didn't want something fabric made. I wanted something kind of sturdy. So I found this box called Ort Storage. And it has magnets for your needles. And it doesn't have to be deep or anything like that for me, because when I get finished stitching for that day or that moment or whatever, when I get up, because I now have a designated stitching spot in the living room for my birthday. My wife bought me a new chair and ottoman, and then for Christmas my mother-in-law got me a new day lamp by Ottlight. So when I get finished stitching, I just throw them in the trash. So I don't need anything deep or anything significant that's going to hold the orts for a long period of time. I just need something while I'm, stitching it at that moment. And matter of fact, let me go ahead and show you guys the business card of the young woman who makes them. It's called Snarky Crafters. And here's her business card. Okay. And it comes in a very nice cloth bag. Okay. My next piece of haul, which is considered a whip, is another one that I had been eyeing for a while. But this goes to show you why you should also check your whips for a while, because I had already had the pattern. I just didn't have it kit up. And this is called Needleworker Sampler by Brenda Gervais. And it's this one. So I have 2 copies of this. And I'm using all of the called for. I put my threads in storage bags and snack bags. I'm using all of the called for colors. It even has some Valdanis too. And I'm doing this on 46 count paper bark. And this is as far as I have gotten. I'm working on the border. Okay. Next up, another one that is a piece of haul, but it's considered a whip. Which is the lovely charts by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. And it is the Houses on Peppermint Lane series. And I'm starting on house number 1, which is the Peppermint House. And this is what it looks like. I have all 9 of them. Now, this is my market haul. Because in market, she came out with 3 more in the series. And that's part of my market haul, which I'm just waiting for it to get here. And I am doing this on 18 count Ada Country Vintage Mocha. And this is where I've getting that border done, working on the first house. And then I just got to go back and take a look at her website and see what she suggests for the spacing of the houses. Next up, Flosh. That's a part of haul. Next, everybody loves, or so I do, Shannon Christine Designs. This is a design that I also had been eyeballing for a little while. This came out at market, but instead of waiting until market, I don't know if people knew this or not, but you could actually just go to her website and download it as a PDF. Yes, you could still get it at market as a hard copy, but it didn't really matter to me whether it was PDF or a hard copy. So I just got the PDF, and it's called Morning Glory Manor. And this is what it looks like. And I am going to do this as a SAL April 1st, starting April 1st. And I have gotten all of the called for threads. Look at those blues and greens in there. It's going to be pretty. And I am doing this on a piece of 18 count Fog Ada. So I can't wait for April 1st to come. Next up, and this was another one that I had been eyeing for a long time, and I just didn't know whether or not I wanted to get it. And then something just said, girl, stop and just go on and order it. You know you want it. And so I did. And it's the Berry Bowl Sampler by Heartstrings Samplery and the Scarlet House. I am not doing this with anyone though, however. I'm just going to stitch it all as one. And I am doing this on a piece of my very first time stitching on 40 count marbled hazelnut verdal 40 count. So that's going to be my very first time trying a 40 count even weave. So I'm kind of excited about doing that. Now, last piece of haul is I was watching Jessica the Sweetwater Stitcher. And let me go back. I had decided that I wanted to go through all of my whips, see what I had, see what I wanted to keep, and see what I wanted to tuck away. UFO. I don't throw anything away. I don't give anything away because my brain is jacked, and I will not want to stitch something today and then 3 years from now, for whatever reason, a bug will hit me and I want to stitch it. So I just hold on to my stuff. And something said, you need to go through your whips. You need to clear off your shelf the stuff that you are not using, UFO it, and make room for the stuff that you are stitching. So I did it. And guys, I got 2, I want to say 15-gallon bins, 15, 20-gallon bins, and I filled up a whole bin and a half of UFO items. Yes. So I said, I can't keep on doing this. So what I did, excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So what I have decided to do was something I saw Jessica the Sweetwater Stitcher do. I went on Amazon and I bought 100 pack of popsicle sticks. And what I did was all of my current whips that I am currently stitching, I wrote them on the popsicle sticks. And you get the point. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw or choose one every day. Not every day, excuse me. I'm going to take a certain amount and I'm going to pick them and I'm going to stitch on the one that I choose for 7 days. And I'm going to do this for 2 months. Then I'm going to wrap that set up with a rubber band and stick them in the bag. And then I'm going to make a new set. So that way I don't forget about the whips that I have over here. Because if I just keep stitching my new stuff or I stick to my favorites, then the ones that I have on my shelf get neglected and I don't know or can't remember what's there. So I'm going to do that. And yes, it still involves my year of whips because the items that I have for my year of whips are going to be on the popsicle sticks and I'm going to draw them and stitch on them. Because it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous that I filled up a, 15, 20-gallon storage bin of whips that I'm not interested in stitching on right now. A bin and a half of these that I cleared out and made room for the stuff that I really am into right now. And so that doesn't happen again. I'm going to do the popsicle stick drawing, and that way I can just keep rotating through my whole entire shelf, through my bin or my carriage, storage carriage that I have here that I take out in the living room with me every morning, just so I don't forget about stuff. So that's what's been up with me, and that's all that I have for you guys today. Sorry that the video was a little askew, but I've been out the game for a minute, and I don't know what's going on, forgetting people and all that ridiculous stuff. So, and I want to give a couple shout outs too, which I should have said this in the beginning, but again, forgot. Is I wanted to give a shout out to Carolyn Zook, Robin Birdseye Stitcher, Laura, Stitching by the Shore, Candy 614 Stitcher, and Dina, Half Cross Stitch. And I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that I need to shout out. EJ from Sunshine Stage Stitchers. They have been promoting the Year of Whips, my 25/7 group, and my Soulful Stitching group. And I just want to say thank you so much for that, because they didn't have to do that. So I really appreciate you guys just taking a few minutes out of your video just to shout me out and talk a little bit about it. If you're not familiar, Soulful Stitching is just a generic cross-stitching group that you can come and join, show your work. And, the normal rules apply. Don't spam, don't sell stuff or ask to sell stuff, and don't be a cross stitch policer, and the 25/7 group is where you come and you pick a project and you stitch on it for 25 minutes a day or 25 stitches a day for 7 days. And you can choose a pattern every day. That's what I do sometimes, is I stitch on a different pattern every day. Or you can choose one pattern and stitch on it for 7 days. However you want to work it is however you want to do it. So that's the other group. And the Year of Whips, which is closed now, is a group where an event, where you had to pick a certain number of whips, and then stitch on those whips for the year. And if you complete half of those, if you finish half of those whips, get the stitching completely done, then you qualify for the drawing at the end of the year. But it's closed now. So I just want to thank those ladies again for giving me a shout out and drawing awareness to the group. So you guys have an amazing day. Thank you for hanging out with me. And until next time, stay safe, guys, and just try to find some happiness and positivity in your day, regardless what's going on around us. There's always going to be bad stuff that happens, but try not to let it suck the joy out of your, personal life or your family or anything. And stay blessed. You guys have a great day. Bye.